A Rookie Biography, Hans Christian Andersen, Prince of Storytellers, by Greene. This is Hans Christian Andersen. He was born in 1805 and died in 1875. This is a book about his life. Hans Christian Andersen was a real person. He lived from 1805 to 1875. He wrote many stories about many things, such as The Little Mermaid and The Ugly Duckling. This is his own story. So this is a beautiful book that I want to share, and it's going to be read in chapters. So chapter 1 is called Home. The city of Odense, Denmark, above, looked like this when Hans was a boy. Hans' house below still stands in Odense. It is now a museum. Home. In a tiny house in Odense, Denmark, lived a boy named Hans Christian Andersen. His family was poor, but Hans was happy because his home was full of love and stories. Hans' father read to him. His grandma told him tales, and so did her friends. Hans' father also made a toy theater for him. It had dolls for actors. Hans used them to act out stories. Home was a happy place, but school was not. Other children did not like Hans. He looked strange, tall and skinny, with big hands, big feet, and a big nose. Hans was sad when the children made fun of him. Sometimes Hans acted strange. That was because he wanted others to like him, but Hans tried too hard. The other children made fun of him. Then Hans would hurry home to his family and his stories. Soon he felt happy again. When Hans was 11, his father died. His mother had to work to buy food. She went out to wash people's clothes. Hans made up stories for the dolls in his toy theater to act out. Hans stayed home. He began to make up his own stories for the doll actors in his toy theater. Then Hans' mother got married again. The family moved to a house with a garden by a river. Hans loved to stand in that garden and sing. He made up a story about a Chinese prince. In the story Hans wrote, the prince heard him sing, took him to China, and made him rich and famous. Hans sang songs in this garden by the Odense River. In Hans' story, a prince carried him away to China. But that didn't happen. Instead, Hans's mother said he must soon get a job. He could sew clothes. Hans hated that idea. He had a better one. He would go to the big city, Copenhagen, and become an actor. I shall be famous, he said. You first go through an awful lot of bad things, and then you become famous. And when Hans was 14, off he went. Tall ships from all over the world came to Copenhagen's busy port.